She'll go for listening.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Nā mihi nui kia tātou katoa ko tamahunga te maunga, ko mahurangi te awa no rānana ahau, ko Charlotte Nightingale toku ingoa. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Kia ora, haere mai, welcome everybody. My name is Charlotte Nightingale and I'm the Artistic Director of Glass Ceiling Arts Collective, and I am so excited that this wonderfully sunny afternoon we get to spend, share some space together and explore the Badger story, which is a multi-sensory experience, a theatre in the home experience. I'm going to start with a karakia. So let's just take a really nice deep breath and just feel ourselves here in this beautiful space here in Devonport. Whakataka te hau ki te uru. Whakataka te hau ki te tonga. Kia ma kinakina ki uta. Kia ma taratara ki tai. Ehi ake ana te atakura. He tio, he huka, he hohu. Tihe Maori ora. I'm just going to give you a little bit of an audio description of me and where I am. I am a Pākehā woman, and I have blondish hair. It looks quite dark here in a ponytail. I'm wearing a sort of pinkish t-shirt, and when I stand up, I'm wearing some tie-dye black and pink and yellow trousers. I love my tie-dye. And I'm in a living room, and it's kind of got some really beautiful moulding on the ceiling and some kind of old school lights and some bookcases and curtains around me. To the side of me, which you won't see at the moment, but I will pick up some things, some props, multisensory props and things that I have collected for today. And that's beside me, so they'll come in and out of the screen. And beside me as well, just to my right-hand side, to your left, is Mike Eaglesome, who is the General Manager of Glass Ceiling Arts Collective. You might see his hand just there. He's the tech person for this afternoon, because I certainly couldn't do all those things at all. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of information about who we are, because we're a relatively new charity. We're an arts charity, and we really work in the area of arts accessibility and inclusion. We often use arts as a vehicle for societal change. We're really interested in how we use art to change and challenge people's perceptions. And we have a successful youth program that runs in Auckland and Tauranga, and is through funding through Manatu Tonga, is actually being rolled out across the country. So we've got new programs that are starting next year in Whangarei, in Wellington and in Christchurch. We have a next gen program for pathways for particularly disabled performers into professional performance. And then what I'm talking about today is, and sharing with you, is our passion for multisensory experiences, multisensory theatre. We like making multisensory theatre, particularly for audiences with PMLD, with profound and multiple learning disabilities. But also what we found through our research is that using multisensory devices is highly accessible to all people, and really can be a vehicle to bring everybody together. And we're really keen to share this across Aotearoa. We know that using multisensory devices creates a truly personalized narrative for someone. So however they connect with the world, however they are, they have the choice, the freedom of choice to explore a narrative themselves. And that's disabled and non-disabled. Anybody can use these devices and have this personalized experience. We are keen on collaborators and sharing our mahi, and we are interested in your experiences and your ideas as well. So please do get in touch. And if you want advice or support, we're one of 2 organisations that really work in this space. The other you would have seen earlier are Jolt in Christchurch. So it would be really great if you are keen on this kind of work to connect with us. One thing I should say is that we've got a sort of low hum in the background here of roadworks that are behind us, and for the start of this week we didn't have this low hum, but it seems to have come on in Spade Falls today, so I apologize for that today. One thing I did want to just say here is that we are really actively trying to share these skills and this knowledge. And one of the ways we're doing that is through hopefully trying to get funding through Manatu Tonga to roll out a program that upskills arts organisations and creatives in this kind of work so that they can use it in their own mahi. Well, our application is online. If you are interested in this kind of work, we'd really love your feedback on our application just on the Manatu Tonga website. It's really important actually that this work continues to grow in Aotearoa. So we'd love you to really connect with that too. So the badger story, it got the longest kind of description ever, because I remember when we first decided to do this, we were like, how can we actually describe what this thing is all about? Because it's kind of nothing anyone's done before. So it's a multi-sensory digital theatre in the home experience, and it's made specifically for audiences with PMLD to share with their whānau, with their friends. So theatre in the home is quite key here. And if you look around me, you can see that I've got curtains here. Now it's a beautiful sunny day, but sometimes it's good to do this at night so that you can use the curtains to create that real magic of theatre and to darken your room. So some of the elements we're going to use today will work as well as they can in the middle of the day, but do work really amazingly well if it's night. So this piece of theatre was created during lockdown, and it was at a time when I'm sure obviously you've been hearing, I've been hearing while I've been sitting in the conference, at a time when the disability community have been extremely vulnerable, and particularly those with profound disabilities. You know, this work has been made with them in mind, and the feedback that we were getting from our communities and the people that we work with was that there wasn't enough arts experiences that really resonated with this community during the lockdowns. And I think I can safely say that there isn't a huge amount of live theatre work that really resonates with these communities, that really is tailor-made for these communities. Which is why it's so important for us to share our knowledge. We know that arts are so incredibly important for our health and well-being, and particularly during COVID. I think everybody can identify with how the arts helped us sort of move through these very challenging times. So making something that was meaningful for a vulnerable audience was really important. Having the parameters of COVID, these kind of tight boundaries around us, were very challenging, but also forced us to be super creative. And this comes out of that creativity. It enabled us to reconnect with Frozen Light in the UK, who make live theatre work for audiences with PMLD, who we've worked with before in Auckland. And also we worked with several artists across Aotearoa via Zoom in various different places. We worked with Tusk Puppets in Christchurch. We worked with Ryan Gray McCoy in Wellington, Jeremy Hinman, I think it was in several places, Sam Jones in Auckland, Gareth Pring, Tom Grew, myself, and also eventually when we had these rules around being together, we worked with UB College's South Seas Film and Television School, where we filmed some of the scenes, some of the live scenes, and we worked with Alicia McLennan-Marla, with Julie Van Rennen and Courtney Nairn as our performers in that. This particular piece is supported through funding through Creative New Zealand and the IHC, as well as supported through UB College's South Seas Film and Television School. And we wanted to create something that was free so that we could remove all barriers to for you to participate in this. So how do you do it? Well, it's accessed via our website, and we're actually going to share screen very soon, and you're going to see the web platform that it's on. But I urge you, we're going to do a little section from it, but I urge you to go back to it and to enjoy it and explore it and share it with your friends, with your whānau, with your colleagues, with everybody, because it's there for free. And we are really, really keen to remove financial barriers for communities to experience this work and our work in general. So there's a resource booklet that you can download, and it looks like this. And it has instructions as to how to do it. It's got all sorts of pictures and things in it. So you can download this from the website, but you can also get it from us. So we've got copies of it. If you really want it, please do email us or put your name down in the chat, and we'll send a copy to you. We're keen to share that too. So if you go to our website and you want to see the Badgers story, you need to go to the events, and you'll click on the tab, the Badgers story, and everything is there for you to enjoy it yourself at home when you come away from today. So I've got a table of props beside me, and I'm going to sort of tip my camera down and see if you can see. There's a table full of all sorts of different things. And I'm gonna, I know you should have some props with you, but if you haven't had the chance to actually bring those props with you, honestly, it doesn't matter. Just enjoy it. Just do what you can and just watch me fooling around on the screen and have a good laugh at my expense, because this is actually my happy place doing multi-sensory stuff. So I'm gonna have an absolute ball. So if you're not experiencing it yourself, by all means, just watch me. It's I'm going to have a great time. So the ones that we've decided for today are glow sticks. I've got the most glowing sticks I could get on a summer's day, and they're not particularly glowy, but I've got some glow sticks. I've got a water bottle, and I like to use lots of different kinds of water bottles. This one I like because you can open it a little bit and spray it around. I'm not going to do that just in case I spray it on mic today, but quite often I spray it around and do all sorts of things. Also, I filled it with lemon barley water, so you can fill it with whatever you like. And sometimes it's really good to have a straw, one with a straw, if you find it difficult to use these types of things to drink with. A straw is often a really good way to go. And often I kind of put dye in it and colours and things to, if you know that someone's not going to shake it, not going to drink it, I might put glitter in it and stuff like that too. But obviously you don't want someone to drink that glitter. I've got leaves and foliage from my garden, and I'm going to speak a little bit about this because when you go to do this maybe at home, you might want to think about this as well. So this is my leaves and foliage. This is some manuka from my garden, but I also have this. I'm a very horsey person, and this is what we call chaff, and I give it to my horses every night, and it smells of just freshly cut grass. it's actually meadow chaff, and so this smells really nice, but I often use something called lucerne chaff, which you can get if you know any horsey people, and it's kind of wet and it stinks and it gives a really massive reaction of like, oh, that's disgusting and I'm going to touch it, oh, you know, but it's actually really good to have things that aren't necessarily really nicely smelling. So, but today, just so I didn't stink out Mike's house here, and he's got a lovely dog here who probably would have tried to get into it, I've got meadow chaff. And I also have this. I also have chickens. So I think I've got a bit of chaff up my nose now, actually, but I've also got wood shavings. And the reasons why I've got wood shavings is, one, what I found working with people is that it has a really lovely sound. It has a really lovely texture when you touch it, and it has the most delicious smell. So I just absolutely love it. And I like throwing it around. It doesn't do much damage. It's pretty cool. Okay, and I'm just going to put those back. And I've got mud here, which I'm going to try not to kind of stamp into Mike's beautiful carpet behind me. But I've got mud with a bit of water in it. It's got wood chips, it's got clay, it's got all sorts of stuff. But man, you can have so much fun with mud. So we've got that too. And also, to counteract the mud, I've also got this. And this is my nice bowl of really nice, warm, scented water with soap in it. So I've used this eco store like Manuka, mint and honey. So something with a really nice strong scent is really good. And a really nice washcloth as well to wash my face, my feet, anything else that gets all muddy. And these are definitely a go-to for any multisensory thing that I'm doing. These are just spray bottles with water. They've got salty water in them, but they are awesome, these spray bottles. I have so much fun with them. So if you want to use, you can use any spray bottle, but just be careful if you're using something that's kitchen cleaner or something that it's not too abrasive and you don't want someone putting that in their mouth. But yeah, these are just from Kmart, but I use them all the time and flavor them and put scents in them and all sorts. It's lots of fun. And then over here, I'm just going to wander over here. And this is a really nice part of the multisensory experience. I'm just going to unravel this beautiful blanket, lovely fleecy, meaty blanket, because it's got a hot water bottle in, which definitely, as you can hear, I'm English. Hot water bottles were a massive part of my life. And just wrapping this in a hot water bottle or a hottie really helps in the bit where we use the tactile fabric. So I've done that as well. And also there are a few other things that I usually use to create some ambience in the room. I usually use one of these, which is a wax burner. This is a Scentsy wax burner, but it doesn't matter which one you use. And here are the wax things. And I'm forever going and finding different, ordering different scents and stuff to see what kind of emotions they evoke and how they make me feel, how they make people feel when we go out and do our research and our testing and stuff. Yeah, I really enjoy working with these. So that's something that I often use, but obviously they are hot wax. So you've got to be quite careful depending on where you're doing it. I also sometimes use these, which are candles. They're actually not wax candles. I'll just switch it on. They're color changing. They are made of wax, but they're electric candles. They're just from Kmart. I often put these around and, you know, create that really nice atmosphere of being at night. So that's quite cool. And then I've got torches, which I completely forgot. And I've got two torches here. I've got the big one that I actually take out when I go and I've got a horse that's neighing in the dark and I take this big torch out, or a pig that's kind of gone AWOL. But and I've also got one of these ones which are also just as good, but using different torches, different kind of means of making light, projectors, lamps that have interesting shades, all those kind of things are quite fun to use and explore. And the other thing that I have here is I've got a random tray that I've kind of picked some bits out of and that I use to project shapes across people or across myself. It will be today, and hopefully you'll be able to see and experience that today. We'll see how it goes with this light in this room. I've got a couple of other things I'm just going to show you that I use that we won't actually use today, but I know are a real winner when I use them. So these are, the first ones are these. And these are, they're plastics. They're not very environmentally friendly, but you can use them again and again and again. These are really good to stand on or to put underneath somebody's feet. Or I love them because I sort of stand on them. I might lay on them, and I kind of like the texture. It's kind of got, it makes you feel kind of quite uncomfortable. So if you're talking about a story where you're kind of stuck in the bush and it's lots of kind of spiky plants or whatever, kind of lying on this really gives this that kind of idea. So that's cool. And then I also quite often use this because this is kind of yeah, super tactile. I might use it to put on a little tray on if someone is using a wheelchair and has maybe sort of limited movement. Sometimes I would use something like this that they can sort of explore. I can help them explore. So that's quite handy as well. And then the last one, which is my favorite thing, but it's the most difficult thing to put away. But it is this. And this is, there's a part where there are moon rays. And so I use this incredible thing. So it kind of looks a little bit here like a jellyfish. You could use it in like a sea story or whatever. But I love this because you can do so many different movements. You can dance with it. You can have somebody sat inside it. You can have them explore it and feel it. It's awesome, and it's cheap as chips, and yeah, one of my go-tos when I'm working. Okay. The other thing that you might not have, because I don't know whether I put it down on the list, but that can be really exciting, is headphones. I'm not going to use them today, but I do encourage you, if you do have headphones, to use them, because we actually use binaural sound in the Badger story, and we are doing a lot of research and development of how we use this kind of sound. And binaural sound is by no means new, but the technology and the way that we use it now kind of has really developed in the past few years. We use a microphone that looks like a human head, so it has ears, and when you record, it records the sounds as a human would hear them. So if you imagine there is a bee buzzing around your head, it's going to pan across you. So when you close your eyes and listen to that bee, it will be as if the bee is around you. Or if you have low vision and do it, you don't need to have the visual of the bee. You feel the bee around you. So the parts of that we're going to play today, some of them do have binaural sound. So if you do have headphones, it's a great idea to put them on as well. And if we are using binaural sound in a theatre context, what we might do is some people might want to use headphones, and we would have Bluetooth headphones to use. Some people might not, so we would use surround sound in that instance, and where the sound would be bouncing off different speakers in a space. So it's a really great tool to create a soundscape, to create that kind of sound narrative, and it can be experienced in various different ways, and can be personalized to yourself, to who you're working with, to anybody. So it's quite an awesome tool. Now, in a minute, we're going to start, and we're doing a little section from it, but we're actually going to play it from the beginning. And the reason why is just so that it kind of sets up the story, but we won't play the end. And also the first scene that we have, means that you have to make bread dough. And I just thought on a Wednesday morning, getting up early and making some bread dough probably wasn't on your list of priorities. Probably being in the conference and listening to wonderful speakers talking today would be your priority. So we decided not to do that one. But you're going to see a couple of scenes before we get started. So I am going to get Mike to put the video, and you will see me in the corner, and I will explore it. I will talk you through it as if I am doing it for myself and for you, and we'll see how it goes. This is something that we haven't necessarily done before, so it's going to be quite experimental and experiential. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I'm going to enjoy playing with some beautiful props today. And just before I get Mike to share his screen, I am going to say that if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. We're really keen to connect. We will have a little bit of time at the end to answer some of those questions. But also, if typing a message in a chat isn't your thing, you are more than willing to send us a voice message on Facebook or Instagram, and we'll get back to you, or get in contact via email. Okay.
Sandra, can you ask Sandra to?
Sandra. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Sandra. Awesome. So we're going to start. Are you ready?
Welcome to the Badger story. Once upon a time, there was a young lady called Meredith Pumpernickel, like the bread. And her hair was like little dough sausages coming out of her head.
So if you see now, so there's a little scene, and then here, there's a little bit that loops. And if we read, I'll read what it says on the screen. It says, Meredith Pumpernickel's hair was like little dough sausages coming out of her head. Take some time to explore the dough or bread that you've made. Everyone should take the time to feel it, smell it, and maybe even taste it. So normally we would have some bread dough, we'd do some eating, we'd share some pie, it would be really awesome. We're not going to do that today, so we're going to move on to the next scene.
Meredith liked to dance the tango with her friend Eleonora Zanzibar from Argentina. Eleonora Zanzibar was a beautiful lady. She had fine hair and soft, soft skin. And she travelled in a chariot made from a cosmic material called carbon fibre. It was an enchanted chariot, and she used her magic hands to make it dance.
And this is another sensory moment that we're not going to do. And this, we normally use a kaleidoscope or something that moves in a circular kind of motion. And often we use light and a kaleidoscope to show this enchanted wheel. So it says it was an enchanted chariot, and she used her magic hands to make it dance. Use the torch on the base of the kaleidoscope and turn it to create some magical patterns inside. And it is an awesome moment.
Eleonora was the greatest dancer of all time, and everyone around the world wanted to dance her famous tango, especially Meredith Pumpernickel. But recently, Eleonora had grown tired of tango and gotten into breakbeat. She wanted to go raving with her glow sticks and her water bottle.
Here we go. And we're going to have our own little wave. I don't know if you have a wave. This is my favourite wave. And it says, rave. We're going to have some really good raving. Oh, the music has suddenly gone off for some reason. Oh. And we're going to beautiful Namazali. And this is going to be my with our glow stick until we're ready to come back, and then we're just going to press next scene.
Meredith was jealous of Eleanor. She wanted a chariot of her own and thought that girls with chariots should not go to raves, but only dance the tango. Meredith flew into a rage, cold and menacing, and told Eleonora, "You must only dance the tango, and only with me." "No," said Eleonora. "I love breakbeat. I will never dance the tango ever again." Eleonora fled off in her chariot into the darkness of the forest.
So this is a good moment to use your headphones because it uses binaural sound if you have them. And you'll hear the beautiful sounds of the bush, as well as music made by Sam Jones. And I'm just going to explore some of this beautiful multi-sensory things. And I really love to use these little bits of manuka to just go all around my face and my head and give me a little tickle. And it's beautiful. And also, you won't be able to see this here, but I'm also going to take my shoes off, and I'm gonna do it on my feet, and tickle my feet, and just really feel that beautiful sensory moment, and enjoy and explore that as you listen to the sounds of the bush. And then I'm going to take this and smell this wonderful chaff that I've got here from the meadows. And I'm also going to go and take it over here, and I'm going to sprinkle it on my feet. So you might not be able to see my feet here, but I'm just going to move this down. So you can see me here. So just about see me. I'm going to sprinkle this on my feet because it kind of feels a little bit like rain as I do it. And it's kind of itchy as well. Just smell it. And then I'm going to find these bits. I'm going to stand on this because the way it feels on my feet, it's going to create, it's actually really, really quite uncomfortable on my feet as I put my feet in it. And I'm going to use this as well to sprinkle around and explore, smell. And the other thing I'm going to do just at this moment, because this is when Eleonora goes into the forest, I'm going to spray some of this, and this is patchouli, and I'm just going to spray it around, and it just smells. It has this really, really strong smell. Sometimes I use eucalyptus, but getting that idea of it being in a completely different space in your own room. So kind of using our senses to create a feeling of being in a forest, in a really different space. Awesome. And we're going to move on to the next scene.
As Eleonora travelled into the forest, she became engulfed in pitch blackness, except for the silvery light of a waxen moon.
And this is a moment which is why it's really lovely to do it in the darkness and to do it at night, because we're going to explore some light now. And I'm going to first of all take my big torch. And actually what is quite exciting is when I use it against the camera, it kind of creates some amazing trails across the screen. And then I'm going to use my moon. I can use anything. Sometimes I use a piece of paper that I just like take hold of, grease piece of paper, And I just want to explore the light around myself, around the space. I can't really see this, but actually it's making these incredible patterns that are actually all around the room. Just wondering if I could show you that. Space. I move that. I assure you it's beautiful. In your home, you're managing to explore the light. Sometimes when we do this, we're making this kind of moon up in the sky. And, you know, when on the floor, lying down, looking at this beautiful light kind of moon across the space. And following that light and getting people who are members, our friends, people who to really explore the light. Explore the lights themselves and have various different kinds of lights. So I don't know. We're trying to work out a way that we can do it better, but it's difficult. But actually, you know, even things like this, where we're doing it together, look at that we can create. Yeah, using lights, having different kinds of lights that we can use and explore. It's really, really exciting. Okay.
The dainty and precious wheels of her chariot could not cope in the detritus of the dense forest, and it stopped dead, stuck in the mud.
One of my favorite bits, because this is all about being stuck in the mud. So her chariot stopped dead, stuck in the mud. So we're going to plunge our hands into some really lovely wet mud. And also, this is pretty cool, is I've got loads of clay in here, and I like to get the mud on my hand and then draw stuff across myself. So I might draw, sort of cover myself in mud. Normally I kind of like to do stuff like this and really kind of explore it. I would put it on my feet, but I don't want to tread it into my carpet today. But there is something amazing about the smell and texture of mud that is totally and utterly awesome. So we're just going to spend a little bit of time. This one's quite gritty as well. It's got some, I think it's got some, what's it called? Oh, I can see some ants in this too. It's fresh from my garden. It's got some little bits of wood and forest and stuff, which is cool. So now I'm covered in mud, as you can see, which I'm totally loving. Just smelling this awesome aroma of mud across me. And I'm going to then put the mud away, and I'm going to do the total opposite. I'm going to plunge my hands into this beautiful warm water that smells of mint and manuka and honey, and I'm going to wash everything off. And the other thing that's really awesome about this particular scene is this, when we were recording this scene, we took someone into the forest to film, to listen to the sound that happens with the water when the mud, when they get stuck in the mud. So that's a pretty awesome binaural sound as well. Mike's looking beside me like, oh my goodness, what are you doing in my living room? I'm going to be carrying this up forever. And fortunately, his wife Diane is in the other room, so she can't see. So I'm hoping that we'll end up making it good by the time she comes in. But I'm just going to take this across face. And there's something really lovely about this smell of being clean after being covered and having a play in some beautiful mud, which is awesome. I'm going to go to the next scene.
Like a cold and heavy mist, Meredith followed Eleonora into the forest. They stopped, face to face.
Mike told me I've gone very over time. So I'm just going to quickly do this beautiful bit after we've just washed ourselves with our manuka honey and mint wash. We're going to cover ourselves with some beautiful mist. And like it tastes of salt, this does. So sometimes I'll have one that tastes of salt and I'll label it, and one that actually smells of something together. It's totally awesome. And I'm going to spray it on my feet and my neck. Really just gets you into that mood feeling in the forest. That's awesome. Great. Let's go to the next one.
Suddenly, out of the rolling mist, there came a badger. Having never seen a badger up close before, Eleonora and Meredith were shocked at the size and sheer power of the short legs as they hurtled towards the pair. The waxy coat, the stripe of white that seemed like lightning, the whites of tiny eyes fixated on them. The badger had on its face a wry smile, such like you might give if you knew something the other person didn't. It was quite chilling.
Suddenly out of the rolling mist there came a badger. So this is our moment when we're going to get our fabric. Lovely and warm. I'm digging this cold mist to feeling the warm texture of this badger's coat. So I'm going to wrap this around me. And it's just awesome. I just love feeling the texture of this. It just makes you feel enveloped in this great love. Imagine if you were in a forest, you didn't know where you were, this huge badger came out and you felt soft skin and soft fur. And that is where we're going to finish. So we have a few more scenes, so you'll actually have to go and explore the rest of it yourselves. So we can take the badger's story off screen now. And gosh, I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm sort of covered in bits of mud, looking a little bit grubby. It's going to be fun on the school run. So I hope you've enjoyed that. We've got a couple of minutes for questions. I'm so sorry. I'm terrible. I'm a terrible timekeeper. I told you, as soon as I get into these multisensory bits, I just kind of get carried away and just love it. Are there any questions that anybody has at all? And totally fine if you just need some time to kind of digest what we've just done and process and just explore it. We don't have any questions. Oh, that's okay. That's all good. But please do get in touch with us. We're really keen to collaborate. We're keen to share this work. We're keen to share these skills. We're keen to explore and play. You know, I think even today, working with that light today, with having the camera and the light, you know, I've just suddenly thought, oh, wow, wouldn't it be great to be able to explore that a bit further and see how we can use that in our practice as well, to really reach out to lots of communities who perhaps would not be able to come to an experience live with us. Yes, so thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for sharing this space with me. Oh, thank you very much. That's very nice of you, saying you've enjoyed it. So, yeah, thank you. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. And we've got a very multi-sensory dog that's come in. Winnie, you're going to come over. I was wondering whether Winnie's probably going to be, I'm hoping it's going to be in our next show, which we've got a new work that we're working on called Spark at the moment. And there's a black and white dog. I don't know if you can see her. It's a very fluffy dog. Winnie, here she is. that will be a star of that too. So please, yeah, connect with us. We're keen to hear your ideas and share our work with you. Thank you so much, and have a great afternoon.